boy tied an iron pipe and a piece of wood together. At the end of the iron pipe, he filed a groove. Then he poured a small amount of gunpowder and steel balls into the pipe. Finally, he placed 4 matchsticks to serve as a makeshift aiming device. But all of this was merely Jack's childhood fantasy. He had always been fascinated by firearms since he was young. Because his family was poor, Jack's father opposed his interest in guns. To pursue his dream, Jack, now grown, joined the Soviet army in World War II without hesitation. However, during one battle, his tank was ambushed by the enemy, and his shoulder was seriously injured. As a result, Jack and a group of wounded soldiers were sent to the rear for treatment. But shortly after the truck left the camp, it got stuck in a muddy swamp. The soldiers got off and pushed with all their might, but the truck didn't budge. Staying there wasn't an option either. Jack suggested the captain go to the nearby village to see if they could borrow horses for help, so the captain picked up his weapon and took Jack with him to check out the village. When they were 50 meters away from the village, the captain handed Jack his only sidearm. That cautious move ended up saving both their lives. Just as the captain saw horses and waved happily at Jack, an enemy suddenly appeared in a room behind him. The captain tried to raise his rifle and fire, but it jammed. Fortunately, Jack reacted swiftly and saved the captain. He rushed over to check on the captain and confirmed he was not hurt. They borrowed horses from the farmers and laid the captain on a wooden board to pull him back. During the return, Jack inspected the cause of the rifle malfunction. It turned out the cold weather had frozen the magazine, and the bullets were stuck inside. The spring lacked enough force to push the bullets out, which led to the jam. Thinking about his comrades heading to the battlefield with such weapons filled Jack with sorrow. Finally, the horses managed to pull the truck out of the mud, and they continued their journey to the rear hospital. After a month of recovery, Jack's arm was nearly healed, but the doctor still advised him to go home and continue resting. As he stepped out of the hospital, Jack felt completely lost. With no other choice, he reluctantly boarded a train home. But on the train, Jack unexpectedly learned that most of the injured and discharged soldiers had been hurt because of jams in the PPSH-41. He pulled out the blueprint of a firearm he had designed. He thought others would laugh at him, but instead, the man praised him as a genius. He even encouraged Jack to develop the gun, saying the battlefield needed such a weapon. At that moment, the train arrived at Matai Station. Encouraged by the man's words, Jack jumped off the train without hesitation. He was determined to build a world-famous weapon, and so the gears of fate began to turn.